Patrick L. McCrory, the Honorable Governor of North Carolina.
This day couldn't have been any better already. I woke up this morning, not in the mansion in Raleigh, but in my own bed in Charlotte with my dog. I walked out the front door and the sun was out and it wasn't raining, which has been unique right now. And I got to come home to Salisbury to Catawba College. But to top it off, I got to sing the Hokey Pokey. I just figured out the Hokey Pokey was my generation's rap song. Chairman Ball, Board of Trustees, President Lewis, Provost Stevens, faculty and class of 2013. I've been fortunate to acquire a number of titles during my professional and political life, but one of the ones I'm most proud of is being a proud alumnus of the 1978 class of Catawba College. This is something that has stayed with me for life and will stay with me for the rest of my life, because just in 1978, it seems like yesterday, when I was sitting in these exact same chairs with my parents in the back and walking across this stage. Instead of my getting a standing ovation like I got when I was introduced here, my parents went, whoo. I just have so many fond memories, and I'm very, very proud of this class. 283 new Catawba College graduates unleashed onto the world, and I'm guaranteeing you the world will be a better place as you leave this and contribute to society. As graduates, you've been armed with market skills and business administration, education. I also have my education degree here, biology, exercise science, communications, and the fine arts. But the professional training that labels your degree hardly describes the full education that you've received here at Catawba. Increasingly, training and education are often viewed as one and the same. And in truth, I've always believed there are two purposes to education. One is to exercise your brain, and the other is to train in a particular field like many of you have in accounting or drama or education. But either way, you're developing your intellectual character. That's significant because it's unlikely, highly unlikely, that the profession that you are about to enter will be the profession from which you will retire. The U.S. Labor Department estimates that during the first 20 years of your working life, much different than mine, you will probably change jobs 10 times. But I guarantee you, like in my career, the knowledge that you've gained here at Catawba College will help you prepare and excel in any opportunity that comes your way. Some of those opportunities might not even exist today. The level of change you will face during your career is unprecedented, more than my generation, more than my parents' generation. For example, today you would be applauded if you wanted to go work at Twitter, the revolutionary social media platform. 7 years ago, when many of you were just thinking about college, Twitter did not exist. Who knows what's ahead of us 7 years from now? I remember when I was in your chairs, and after graduation, my parents presented me with a gift, and that was an electric typewriter. That you didn't have to correct by sticking the paper in, it corrected itself. Look at the technology that has changed. You will see the same changes during your career as you leave Catawba. The only way that you can prepare today for jobs that don't exist is to develop a nimble mind and harness it with excellent communication skills. A great idea is useless if its value cannot be understood. That's why these great educators here at Catawba have designed your education upon a foundation of practical, intellectual, and critical thinking skills that inspires lifelong learning. Of course, not all of life's lessons are taught in a classroom. You will be taught many more valuable lessons. And since I left Catawba as a student, I've learned the value of focus and persistence. Focus involves much more than prioritization. It involves the ability to be distracted, not to be distracted by side issues. I've especially seen this in politics. Do not get distracted by the side and peripheral issues. Stay focused on what's important. Focus is also useless if it is coupled with persistence, relentless, and bulldog-like persistence. One lesson I've learned since leaving Catawba is that success is often defined by your ability to deal with roadblocks that are placed in your path, and you will have many roadblocks. When obstacles arise, that's when it is essential that you focus on moving your ideas and beliefs forward, always forward. Even if it's an inch, always move forward. There will be times when forward progress seems impossible, or in fact, even when you have had to take a step back, but then take 2 steps forward. In fact, you'll even be tempted to give up, or let someone else carry the burden, or pass on the burden to someone else. Do not give in to that temptation. Don't be afraid to fail, and if you do fail, try again. But do it more strategically and work even harder. In fact, I wouldn't be here before you as the governor of North Carolina, the 74th governor of North Carolina, if I hadn't been focused and if I hadn't been willing to try again. You see, in 2008, I took a very big personal and professional risk in my life. I quit a job which I had acquired right out of Catawba College at $900 a month in 1978. And I worked there for 29 years. And I always had public service in my heart. And I knew this was an opportunity that would never come again. So I quit my job without a pension and decided to run for governor. I put my heart and soul and energy into that campaign in 1978 because I was convinced that I had the right ideas and plans to move North Carolina forward. But guess what? The people thought otherwise. I lost. I lost student body president here at Catawba College, too. I mean, to talk to you. You know what? In the 2008 election, I even lost the majority vote during that election for governor in Charlotte, the city that elected me 7 times as mayor. And losing an election, whether it be for student body president or for governor of North Carolina, bruises your ego. But losing in my adopted hometown of Charlotte really tore at my heart. And after losing in 2008, I still had 1 year of service as mayor because I also decided not to run for re-election as mayor since I made this commitment to be governor. And I'm not going to kid you. It was tough serving in a city that wanted me as mayor for 7 terms, but not as governor. And I became a little bitter. Apparently, that bitterness showed to some friends and even to some outsiders. George Foreman, the former heavyweight boxing champion of the world, who I got to know while I was mayor because he used to help with one of the football games in Charlotte, bowl games there. And I had a meeting after the 2008 election, and he saw how I felt. This is George Foreman. To people my generation, he was the heavyweight championship of the world. To you, he started a grill. Let me tell you what George Foreman did. After meeting with him, and this was, I think, in December of 1978, we had a long time talk. I got in the mail a short time later at my house in Charlotte these 2 pairs of boxing gloves. And these boxing gloves said the following. This says, I had to reach out and forgive Africa. They pulled against me in 1974. To you, the best is yet to come. Now, most of you don't know what I'm talking about, but let me tell you the story. In 1974, George Foreman was the 24-year-old undefeated heavyweight champion of the world. A one-time juvenile delinquent, He used boxing to turn his life around. In 1968, he won the heavyweight gold medal for the United States. He was a hero to everyone. He waved the American flag at the center of the ring while being presented his gold medal. He thought everyone loved him. But in 1974, when he went to Zaire, Africa, to defend his title against Muhammad Ali, Foreman, when walking into the ring, was booed by thousands of people from Africa, because they loved Ali more. And then he swung and he swung and he swung in this fight. My generation remembers this fight. He swung, he kept waiting to knock out Ali. Everyone else always went down. But Ali just took the punches and did what we call the rope-a-dope. And finally, George Foreman ran out of energy. And Ali, in one of the later rounds, took one swing and knocked Foreman down to the ground. He lost. He lost. He got bitter. He got depressed. He quit boxing. He lost all of his money. It stunned him. It stunned him that the people had been against him. But he started getting up during those years and realizing, I've got to turn my life around. You cannot be bitter. 20 years later, after a lot of new training, he came back in 1994, and wearing the same boxing trunks he had worn when he lost to Ali in Africa. The unranked Foreman, not even ranked, fought the heavyweight champion Michael Moore, who thought this would be easy money to knock out a 45-year-old man. Well, that 45-year-old man threw one punch in the 10th round, and that one punch made him again the heavyweight championship of the world. Then he sold grills later on. What George was telling me, what George Foreman was telling me when he gave me this gloves, was you've got to keep moving on. You can't move on to accomplish the best thing in your life with bitterness in your heart. Forgiveness is the first step to healing. On the right glove that he handed me, he said the following: with this hand, I missed a lot, but I kept swinging. Your friend, George Foreman. So that's what I decided to do. I decided to get up and recognize I lost and realize I needed to keep swinging. But this time, I wasn't going to swing wildly until I run out of energy. I was going to be much more strategic in my swinging. And I was going to train better. And I was going to defend myself better. And I was going to remain focused on what my accomplishment needed to be. So in 2011, I decided to run for governor again. And thankfully, and with incredible honor, the people said yes. And I'll always be grateful for that. But now that I've been elected, now like you are graduates of Catawba College and you've worked hard this 4 years, let me tell you, now the hard work starts. And now that I've been elected governor, I've got a lot of hard work to do. Yes, I won, but now I've got to continue to be strategic and focused. And I'm focused on education, I'm focused on energy, I'm focused on efficiency, and I'm focused on our economy. Any other issues people want to talk about, I'm going to defer to other people. I'm going to stay focused on those things which will make this state, this country, and the city of Salisbury, and you, the next generation, successful. Now, your hard work is beginning. As you leave here today, stay focused on what you want to accomplish. Don't swing wildly like George Foreman did, but swing strategically, based upon what you learned here at Catawba College, and based upon your life experiences, based upon your faith, and based upon what your parents have taught you. Be strategic, be hardworking, be ethical. And you'll always come back here to Catawba, like I have, and like I'll always continue to come back here, because this great school had an impact on my life. But I have to be reminded of Catawba, and I also am reminded of this strategic place in my heart that George Foreman set me. So I have these gloves now in the governor's office. They will be returned tomorrow. And they're always in front of me. Make sure that I keep swinging, and I don't get bitter when I lose, because I will lose again. But I keep being strategic and focused. That's what makes our country great. That's what makes this state great. That's what makes Catawba great. And you will be great in your future. I admire you for your accomplishment, and I look forward to what you plan to accomplish ahead. Thank you, and God bless each one.